Hi, okay. I've generally tried to avoid making any video diaries because I thought they were silly, but I don't feel like typing and I don't have the time to do that. I'm going to make a quick comment on the presidential election in Nigeria. Right now, there are a lot of riots going down in the northern states in Kano, in Kaduna, in Jos, which is not really a northern state, and Jonathan won it massively anyway. Adamawa, Taraba, all these states, there are riots going on because people who supported Muhammadu Buhari are saying that, good luck Jonathan rigged the election because he won 99% of votes in Bayelsa, which is his home state, um, in Anambra, huge amounts in Delta, and other Igbo and minority states that are part of southern Nigeria. Now, although those numbers do seem really dramatic and gigantic in the large sense of democracies, if you're Nigerian, you can understand the difficulty of imagining a significant number of Igbo people or a significant number of Ijaw people or Ishekiri people or Ibibio people voting for Buhari when Jonathan, who's from the Niger Delta, is running for president. And beyond that, Jonathan made one promise, one significant promise before this election. That was he would have free and fair elections. And the National Assembly election, which was a week before this election, actually showed that that goal was achievable. So a lot of people probably came out to reward him for voting, for achieving a free and fair vote. And international observers, the European Union, the United States, ECOWAS, which is the Economic Community of West African States, the African Union, have all called this a very clean, very free, very fair election. A huge difference from what happened in 2007 in Nigeria. So right now, what's going on with the protests in the north? It's largely religious conflict, religious strife. You have the Northerners who feel like they've been cheated out of another term because Goodluck Jonathan is president. But it's important to remember that the Northerners have ruled Nigeria for over 38 out of the 50 years or so of the country. So they have ruled for a long time. And now the Southerners are actually voting in heavy numbers for their own. And also, it's important to note that in the North, Jonathan collected at least 200,000 votes in each of the northern states. So there were even those in the North, such as the Sultan of Sokoto, which is one of the most powerful figures in Nigerian Islam and just in the Hausa community, actually supported Jonathan. So he's going to take the country forward, and unfortunately, we're going to have these riots now because there are a lot of angry Northerners. There are youths who have no jobs and nothing better to do, so they can, wander around and riot for no good reason. But hopefully, Jonathan will be able to clean this up. These riots will stop, and we can move forward. Next week, we have the governor's election, and there the Northerners can all pick governors from the CPC, which is the Congress for Progressive Change, and the Southwest, of course, will pick governors from the ACN, which is the Action Congress of Nigeria, the Igbo land, which is in the east, and also the Delta area will pick the PDP, which is the People's Democratic Party, which is a large national party, and hopefully we can move forward with a divided government, which is good because then the power is not there's no preponderance of power in one person's hand. But it's important to note that the ACN swept the southwestern areas in the National Assembly election, and they'll likely sweep it in the governor election. The CPC swept the north in the assembly elections, and largely in the presidential elections, and they'll also probably sweep it in the governor elections. And the PDP scattered around the country. But Jonathan transcended that in the Southwest because many people in the Southwest who are Yoruba for the most part, they're like, our candidate is Nuhu Ribadu, which is a northerner, and he hasn't really shown any qualifications to be president. All he's ever done was be the director of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, or the EFCC. So he hasn't shown any real qualifications to be president, apart from the fact that he fought graft. But Jonathan, on the other hand, has achieved free and fair elections. He has showed a clear plan for the power sector that involves public-private partnerships, and he's also shown a plan to deal with the problem of the natural gas flaring in Nigeria. If you understand the way oil drilling works, when you drill for oil, when you get the oil, the crude out, at the same time natural gas comes out. So every year Nigeria was losing about $2.6 billion flaring natural gas. But now we can have a gas revolution, and all that gas that is being flared yearly can be used to power the entire country, which is huge. So he's taking these huge steps. He's showing out clear plans, and obviously people are like, okay, this is one president in Nigeria in history of the country, at least in recent history, democratic history, that has said, I'm going to achieve one thing, and we can probably say, wow, he has achieved that. Even if tomorrow Jonathan is removed from power, he dies, or something awful happens, he will have a legacy that already exists based on the fact that he's promised free and fair elections. And I really hope in these next 4 years we'll have power sector reform, we'll have the natural gas industry grow massively. There'll be agricultural reform, hopefully, because we can be the breadbasket of all of Africa. And at the same time, we can have real infrastructure reform with increased transportation. And all these things will come with public-private partnerships. All these things will come once there's power. The growth of the country will explode. Right now, the country is the third fastest growing economy in the world, with the power of a medium-sized city in America. Like the entire country of 160 million people only has the power of a medium-sized city in America. Once power sector reform goes through, you have constant light 24 hours a day, or at least something better than 6 or 4 to 6 hours a day, which is what's going on in most areas of Nigeria. And businesses will not have to pour massive amounts of their profits or revenues into buying generators or maintaining power. So you have all this extra money to put back into investment, and that will help the country grow massively. And the growth can pick up severely, and Nigeria can be the next China, the next big example of development. But in order to do that, we have to continue to grow democracy. We have to get past these knee-jerk reactions that happen because of ethnic strife, because it's a very divided country religiously and ethnically. And hopefully we can move forward. This was a bit rambling, but this is how I feel about the issue. And feel free to comment or disagree with me. I will vehemently debate you. But that is necessary for development of the country, development of civil society, and just the positive growth of Nigeria.